SOH Radio presents AsiaCast, keeping you across the top headlines from Asia and the world.
I'm Dennis Wu with AsiaCast. In this bulletin, suicide attacks as a last resort to stop industrial pollution in China's Chinas County. Anger over Tibetan monks' patriotic re-education, and UN says 1 billion suffering hunger around the world. But first, here is the SOH focus on China. A group of residents in China's Eastern Shandong Province are on the verge of open rebellion and have threatened to carry out suicide attacks. They say the action is the only way to stop several chemical plants discharging cancer-causing industrial pollution straight into the local sewers, according to the Epoch Times reports. Dongming County has become known as the Cancer County following the opening of 4 cyclohexanone plants in 2003. According to some doctors, over 60% of the county's population are suffering from thyroid tumours, and numbers appear to be growing. In a statement issued on Bulletin, a Chinese news website based outside China, the residents say that there weren't any thyroid tumours before the chemical plants opened. Various appeals to the authorities have failed as local Communist Party officials are among the factory owners. While the news that Deng Yujiao, the victim of the widely publicised rape case, was guilty of assault but released without sentence, has led to some celebration, the legitimacy of the court's decision is being challenged, says the Epoch Times. He Weifeng, a Chinese academic, says that the real criminal in the case has not faced the court as a defendant. He argued that Deng's stabbing of the officials was not an independent incident, but a defensive action following their attempted rape of her. He said if this was the case, then the court should be hearing a rape case against the 2 officials. The mental disorder claim made by the court was a cunning excuse to blame Deng for killing one of the officials without having to punish her, and for letting the rape suspects walk free, he added. And now for the rest of today's AsiaCast. A recent crackdown on the monks in the Chengdu area of Tibet has outraged villagers, according to NTD TV. On Thursday, Jiangda County Communist Party officials began a new round of patriotic re-education. Monks were told that if they did not condemn the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan government in exile on camera, their monasteries would be closed. When 3 monks who refused to do so were arrested, nearly 500 Tibetans from surrounding villages went to demand the monks' release outside the detention centre. The authorities responded by sending out 300 riot police to disperse the crowd with tear gas. The 64th birthday of Burma's detained opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi was marked with vigils and protests around the world on Friday. Celebrities including author Salman Rushdie and actors George Clooney and Julia Roberts have joined activists in a signing of online petitions demanding that she be freed. The EU also agreed to boost sanctions on Burma's military rulers and renewed calls for a release. Ms. Suu Kyi has been under house arrest for much of the past 19 years and is currently on trial accused of breaking terms of her detention. She was charged after an American man swam to the house where she was being held and stayed there overnight.
You are listening to AsiaCast on the SOH Radio Network.
The global financial crisis has increased the number of people throughout the world suffering from hunger by 100 million to 1 billion, says the UN. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization says the figure was a record high. Persistently high food prices have also contributed to hunger crisis. The Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization said the level of hunger, 1/6 of the world's population, posed a serious risk to world peace and security. The UN said almost all of the world's undernourished live in developing countries, with the most some 642 million people living in the Asia-Pacific region. This has been Dennis Wu for the SOH Radio Network.
AsiaCast, keeping you across the top headlines from Asia and the world.